2 years ago at the end of beginning of 23, the accountant's like, I think we spent £2,800 at McDonald's in 2022. The team did in like a 3-month period in the middle of Europe. I think
Good years. It's a celebration.
Dude, victory. We spent £2,800 at McDonald's in 3 months.
The cost of victory, dude.
Oh, I got
Welcome to the show. Our guest. We got 2 guests today.
Oh, you might need
He's
to
supposed to be down there.
put that a little closer to you. There we go.
Just keep it 2 fingers away from you.
Oh, yeah, any good?
Yeah.
I want to, like, you know when people do the stuff on thingy? You go,
ASMR, yeah. So we've got
To do that, you'll need to be online.
Siri. We've got 3 guests today. We've got Siri. We've got Lada Kerr, and we've got Bernard Kerr. Welcome to the show once again. Round of applause.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Pleasure.
I was second choice. I just want to put that out there as well.
Now, you already booked in for tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we're moving around.
Second
Yeah.
choice on a Monday.
Moving
Second choice on a Monday.
and shaking today.
Dude, you already booked in for tomorrow, but you're coming in hot as the off the bench, aren't you?
Hot off the bench, yeah. I
But
feel
you
like
were-
I very much requested
You were
this one as well.
starting tomorrow, but then you're hot off the bench today.
I'm a day early.
Couldn't wait. Too excited to come back on the
I'm
podcast.
keen. I'm home for 5 days. I'm keen to be on.
Really?
Dude, what a whirlwind your life is at the minute. I can't even keep up. It's weird. Normally when you're around here, it's sort of I feel like I can keep up a bit better. But so talk us through where you've been, what schedule you're on right
This
now.
is a whirlwind for me, I'll be honest with you. This is a lot even for me. And
Right, good, yeah, good. I'm glad to hear it.
I've been in New Zealand for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 7 weeks. I don't know. I went at the end of November and we're in January now. And I've come home to England for 5 or 6 days.
Yeah.
Just to see this guy, really. I got to see this guy, which is pretty cool, and to sign a warehouse lease for the team and BK Sport in Wales with the Welsh government. So because it's a government, they demand a wet signature. You literally can't do it online, which is so ridiculous. Because you sign it wet, and then they scan it in and send it to them.
Oh.
So it's the same as doing it online.
God.
Like, for some reason, the government can't understand this.
How weird. Who keeps the
I hate to say it's
actual-
like dealing with children.
Is it really?
It's like they don't understand the 21st century, but how funny is that?
What how does it who keeps the actual version? I don't want to say wet, creeps me out saying wet. But yeah.
I think they do send it to them.
Have you ever been asked when someone's like, "Do you want a wet?" Have you heard that?
No.
It's like a term for
Like a drink?
Yeah, a drink, a wet. That makes me.
I haven't
cringe
heard
at
that. But yeah, so I've home for that. And I'm really lucky, thanks to Red Bull, UK or Australia, whoever. Like, I've got to test the Red Bull Hardline course in 3 weeks' time, 2.5 weeks in
Dude.
Tasmania.
Oh,
And part of my deal is I didn't tell them, they always thought I was going to be in the UK, so they were going to have to fly me there and back. But I knew I was in New Zealand, so I made them agree to fly me from the UK, even though I was in New Zealand. So I got a return flight from New Zealand to the UK and back to New Zealand as part of my testing the course appearance fee. So it's not a free flight. I'd have to work for it.
Yeah.
But I got a free flight in a way to come to the UK.
Okay,
and
now
see
I
the dog
understand.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't book it, which is weird because I'm talking to some guy, I think he's called Tim in Australia. I was like, oh, can you look at the 2nd to the 9th or the 28th after I test it of Jan into the 6th of Feb? And hadn't heard. We're going backwards and forwards. And then on the 31st of December, we're talking. I guess he was in work still or whatever. And then I didn't hear from him. I went out camping with no signal in New Zealand. Got back to signal at 5 p.m. on the 1st, and he just booked me a flight for the 2nd. So I honestly didn't know until 5 p.m. on the 1st that I was flying at 1 p.m. midday on the 2nd from New Zealand to London. So it's been really cool. Honestly, I feel so lucky. It was like, because it happened so quick, it felt like I saw my flight booking. 15 hours later, I was in the UK, and I was stood outside my house with Lada running around a field, and I was like,
Mate, tell me
is
about
weird.
the moment that you were reunited. Was it like one of those TikTok videos where...
do you know what? I actually cried. I'm not
you
even
actually?
lying. I honestly,
Like a soldier
my
coming
mum
home
was there,
from
and I was kind of I was embarrassed in front of my mum. I was so happy. It was like 6:30 a.m. at Heathrow, and it was like dark outside, obviously. And he got out the car, like half asleep, didn't realise, then suddenly realised, and he just lies on the floor and he's just hitting his tail.
No way.
And then when he got up, he like sprinted around. I made sure my mum came in, she always picked me up at drop off. The furthest sides, there was room for him to run around and not go on the road. I thought about this.
Yeah.
So he's like, runs around, tries to find you a gift.
Yeah.
So he like tries to find something for like 2-3 minutes, like going crazy. And then he lay down again and he's just like on his back, just hitting his tail on the floor.
Oh, it's so
But it was pretty
nice.
sick. It's been so cool to hang out with him and hang out with
Is
him.
it harder to go away because of the dog?
So much harder.
it?
Like I love New Zealand, it's great, but it sucks not having him there.
Yeah.
But I feel so lucky to fly across the world for 5 days to hang out with the dog and drive to Wales in a lorry and get a warehouse. So yeah, that's why I'm back.
What's the warehouse move about?
The Welsh government have built 3 warehouses in Machynlleth. I think that's how you say it, where the Athens have built a bike park. Fair play to the Athens and everything they've done for that town, building that bike park. It's insane. So they've built 3 warehouses to generate economy and jobs in the area, I guess. And I've been lucky enough to get one of them.
Wow.
So, yeah, you had to sign a 5-year lease, which is really scary. Honestly, like, I've like been going through the process of doing it for ages. We were supposed to get it last April, and obviously everything gets delayed in building, and they had to repaint the floor. And we signed the lease on Friday and got it. And the second I was in there, honestly, I was kind of scared. It's like, you know, when you get buyer's remorse, you buy something,
for sure,
and you're like
dude,
hype,
I
you
can
buy it, or you like
imagine,
you panic buy like a nice car or something, and then you're like, geez, is this a right move, or am I being an idiot?
Yeah.
The second we were in there, I honestly, for the next couple hours, I was like, oh my God, I've got a warehouse. Like, I've got a brand new, huge, it's massive. It's like a full-size warehouse.
So they build a warehouse on like their own land, and that's how
They buy the land, they build the warehouse, they build them at a massive loss, I think, because the rent.
Yeah,
I pay 1,600 quid, I'll be honest with the money, £1,600 a month for this warehouse.
Right, it's
And
big as well.
It's
huh?
huge, brand new,
Holy.
so eco, like runs on all this crazy like efficient power, and it's like AA star rating, you know, and it's unbelievable. But I still signed a 5-year lease and was like terrified for a good few hours there when we first got
definitely.
it. Like, what have I done?
What are your plans for it? What's the layout going to be? How's it going to change?
We're having the team bus that's going to reverse in.
Nice.
Few cars obviously are going to be in there.
Yeah.
Little coffee area. Barney, it's basically gonna be Barney's warehouse. He's going to have the sickest workshop you've ever seen, because he's always done it out of my house. We've got a container in a garage that's now empty. Please don't rob us, but it is empty. So you don't need to go rob it anymore. And he'll save so much time. We've got racking with all the team parts. I spent £3,000 or £3,500 today on like these like 3 workbenches and then 2 toolboxes. But it will make it so efficient. It will look cool.
Yeah.
And it will be really efficient. Like, he won't waste time going from one to the other, like having to set up a work stand every day, having to get this, like everything's just dialed, set up, cleaned, vices, you know, like.
And I mean, there's a lot of work involved with your team, eh? Like for him, for you, yes, for everyone, yes, but for Barney.
For
it's a
Barney,
lot,
yeah,
isn't it?
honestly, so much. Poor guy does a lot of organising, works hard, because we'll get 31 frames from Pivot.
Yeah.
And he won't build all of them, but he'll build at least 2/3 of them probably.
Yeah.
So 30 odd frames come in, but he can rack all the frames on the wall. He's going to build a rack for those. Then he can have a Shimano shelf, a Panzer shelf, that's our inserts, a Conti shelf, and drawers. He'll know where the Fox bushings are. He'll know where the Shimano XTR breakers. He'll literally know where everything is.
So that is 30 times internal routing.
Yeah, but Pivot's good.
Okay,
Pivot, mate,
I knew you were
honestly,
gonna
like
say
a
that, but
high-end
still.
frame, it's a lot of internal routing.
30. Do you know, if I had to do 30 bikes, that'd be me done for the year.
Do you know what's
That'd
crazy?
be- You know what I mean?
Do you know what's crazier? Industry 9 send our hubs separately from our Reynolds rims. So that's 30 bikes with wheel builds.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You know, it's 60 wheels
60
before
wheels.
spares. Minimum. And then they've previously, like Reynolds are going to come with stickers now, but they've had to sticker them as well. So that's 60 wheels stickered, plus spares, plus
Quite the
like it's
operation, dude.
all of that is what's crazy. And hopefully this warehouse is going to streamline it and make it easier.
Mate, do you ever think it would ever get to the point that we're at the warehouse? Did you ever think it would get to that? When you look back,
No, from the caravan. No, honestly, I was so happy. I was going to write like "pinch me" on the caption, and I was like, that's kind of cringe. But
It's a big thing though, man.
It's really
and like
cool.
you say, it's more like efficiency and just being a professional race team.
Yeah,
that's
and
kind
like,
of the move, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a real like. I feel like people, like a lot of the teams and either riders or the UCI or this Discovery people, just think of my team as a joke because I run it and like we have fun. But I'm like, surely now they'll take us seriously. I mean, I got 5th in the overall, then I got 6th in the overall, and I still honestly feel like they don't really take us seriously.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you look at this now, are you going to take us seriously now? Like, we really, I promised for
What
a
do you
race
want?
team. Yeah, what do you want from me? You know, but yeah, we are. And I think as you get older in life as well, you're like, what do I enjoy? I enjoy being in a garage, and now we have a really nice garage. I have like a motorbike workshop. Barney has the bikes. We've got a mad dog in the background. What do you want? Can you just chill out? Sorry, I'm hitting your
He's
mic.
an important guest. I don't feel like he's going to say much. I'm glad, actually. He's not a yappy dog, is he?
No, he's not, but he's been a little pest tonight. He's had a good few walks today as
He's just got
well.
a lot of jobs on. I think Lada's got a lot of work.
Yeah,
He's a working dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, he loves the warehouse. He's tearing around it.
that's so good.
No,
Good
it's
move
pretty funny.
for sure.
Yeah, hyped in the
Excited.
warehouse. You guys have got to come up.
Yeah, stoked. Yeah. To be honest, I thought it was here because when I seen you put the
I mean, that would cost you 50
I know,
60 grand a year down
exactly,
here.
yeah.
There's no way we could afford it.
BK Sports doing pretty good.
We're not doing that good. Oh,
Because I think it was AJ had commented like podcast studio, and I was like,
Oh, yeah,
BK,
yeah.
let's talk, let's
Cancer,
make it
yeah.
happen. That'd be sick.
No,
But
up there.
We ain't
Hey,
driving
we
to
could do
Wales
a.
for it.
Well, when you come ride the bike park, we could do a guest podcast there.
For sure
Yeah,
we should,
that'd be
yeah.
fun.
That would actually be really
It's,
cool.
it's funny, when you were looking for the warehouse space around here, we talked about the podcast being in your warehouse
I
space,
looked
didn't
at
we?
one, didn't I?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
The place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Expensive stuff to do, but yeah, good move,
Around
man.
here,
Hyped.
yeah. Hyped on the
Sick.
warehouse, hyped like, yeah, what the Athens have created and how good I think that area is going to get. It's crazy to see like one family and like the revenue and like how biking affects the town. I think that's the coolest thing. Like biking got that warehouse, which is so great. Like biking, because I love biking. I feel like we all do.
Yeah.
And like biking has made that town through the Athens what it's going to be and what it's
Yeah,
actually
it's mad to
insane
think,
that,
isn't it?
that
Yeah.
the revenue they generate, the Athens it must be millions a year to that town from biking.
So has the government actually like talked about that's the reason for these warehouses? Like,
I think the warehouses are planned before. I'm not sure.
Okay.
The Athens are taking. There's two the same size, and the Athens for the bike company are taking one that's probably double the size of mine.
Yeah.
With a lot of offices in, but I'm not sure if they're originally for that or our solicitor. The solicitor I use, not my solicitor. I'm not trying to sound fancy here. The guy we use, he's really cool, and he was saying that the Welsh government built some in the 80s. And it took them years to fill them because they were only supposed to be for this or that. And the Welsh government this time have got two filled a year before completion. Like we've agreed it a year.
Yeah.
Like it's such a success story for the government that's decided, hey, we're going to build these new warehouses, generate income in the area and economy. A year before they're even finished, they've got two people trying to move in.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Which is such a cool thing. Whereas in the 80s and 90s, they were building these ones for warehouses and things, and they couldn't film for years.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's the guys to their bosses or whatever look amazing, I guess, and it is a success story. They've built these warehouses, and there's businesses going in. Like I'm gonna have part-time staff, maybe a full-time.
Yeah.
Bike shops opening up. Like the town really is.
Is that your shop?
I own the shop technically, like the building,
Yeah.
but someone else. It's called Mac 10 Cycles.
Mac 10.
Isaac runs it.
Okay.
And we might do e-bike rental at some point. So if there's a lot of interest, write in the comments. I don't know.
Yeah.
We might do pivot e-bike rental from
That's
it.
sick.
But we are going to do BK Sport merch that you can only buy there.
Okay.
So you can't buy it online. We're going to do merch in the
That's
shop.
nice. That's like the
That you
TLD Laguna store. It's
Yeah,
very
you have
cool,
to
yeah.
go there to get it.
Yeah.
So like we'll only sell it in the shop. So if you're in Mac riding the bike park or riding the trails, there's some really good trail riding around there in Corus and places. You can pop into Mac 10 Cycles and pick yourself up some BK Sport, hopefully by February or March, that you can only buy if you go to the shop.
That's cool. Does my mountain biking have a place, do you think? You know, like, I'm thinking of like California here, right? With Moto. That
Yeah.
area, Temecula, Riverside. It's like, that's the hub of. I'd love that the Athens are maybe starting that movement of
that's
like,
a good
this is
call.
where like bike brands need to be. I don't know. It seems to be happening down here a little bit, right? You've got the YT mill,
We got a lot
you've
around
got a lot
here.
going on around
Yeah.
here, but as far as like a global place,
It's kind
for
of happening
biking-
here. I think. You want to go?
No.
I think that's such a good shout, and I think it almost is going to happen. Like obviously you've had revs and stuff, and
Yeah.
Dan keeps telling me, Dan's like, get a bike park here, get a bike park, find someone to build one. They're not against someone else doing it. They think it would be so good. Or Dan, I know at least
I'd
does.
agree as well.
Rises
Because-
everyone up.
Yeah, and then they might go one day at Bernard's bike park, one day at theirs, and you've
Yeah.
got more people wanting to come. So they really think it would be good. And I think that whole area is going to create that. There's great trail riding there. There's
Yeah.
great, their bike park, obviously. And I think it will be like, I've ridden a lot of the Spanish places, a lot of the Italian places in winter previously. The Atherton's bike park, Dovey, is the best place in the Northern Hemisphere in the winter to ride in the world. Well, in the Northern Hemisphere in the world, if you know what I mean. There is nowhere better in the world right now in the Northern Hemisphere to ride a bike, a downhill bike.
That's
Like,
pretty cool. That
hands
is.
down,
That's
they have the best
pretty good
place.
review, that.
And even if you count the whole world, I reckon you might put them in the top 3 or 4 right now in winter in the world. Even
Yeah.
when you take in New Zealand and Australia.
What's Why? What is it?
Good variety of tracks, I think.
Yeah.
An amazing uplift service, good cafe, good vibes. It's just an unreal place to ride, really.
Right, okay. Think about how much of a risk it felt just getting your warehouse, yeah?
Terrifying.
Imagine buying a mountain.
600 acres.
Imagine buying 600
So
acres
gnarly.
whilst you're a professional racer.
Man,
Yeah.
I can't. I have.
It's really impressive, isn't it?
I have so much respect for them now,
Yeah.
and how hard they work as a family and the risk they've taken on. And Brownie, like their other partners that own it with them, like the team manager, like it's insanely impressive.
Yeah.
Probably don't get enough credit.
I really
You know what I
don't
mean?
think
I
they
agree,
do.
yeah.
And from
They
that
don't
town,
from me. Like I just see it and just go, oh, cool.
Dan's
But, like,
on
when
the
you start
council
breaking
there.
down all this stuff that they're doing. It's
Like Dan Atherton is on
gnarly.
the board the council board in Mac. Like how crazy is that? He's a councillor or whatever you call them.
If
Like,
there's,
a member of the-
there's no cooler counsellor than
there
Dan.
is Dan Atherton.
I mean, he's literally
man.
like one of my favourite bike riders.
Dude,
full
isn't
stop.
he?
And he's a counsellor.
Dude, he goes
Small
to the
bike,
he's like, oh,
big
sorry.
bike, anything.
He's like,
Dan
I've got-
Atherton is...
I've got a council meeting tonight, mate, because we're like, oh, should you go for dinner? He's like, council meeting. You're like, how wild is that?
Have you ever been to council meeting?
I haven't. Have you?
I've been to a lot of council
Yeah,
meetings
there's
for
a
the
few.
bike park.
S4P.
But
Oh,
it's
you're a great guy too.
insane. It's insane the people that go to council meetings largely just enjoy moaning.
No.
I certainly here. And like the stuff they moan about, they're like the dropping the curb over at somewhere.
The phone box.
What are we going to do?
Too high. You just can't believe it. So it takes a lot of patience. Good on him for being.
Yeah, but I
amongst
think
it.
hopefully once they see that success is starting to happen and tourism's kicking in, it's a no-brainer to keep leaning into it.
You would,
Surely.
you would think so. I know there's a few people in the town that obviously hate mountain biking.
Yeah.
Anywhere people don't like change. And
Yeah.
I was actually walking Lada. There's this like nice little gardens where I take him for walks, and I meet like all these old ladies and we chat sometimes. It's quite funny. It's like very quaint and Welsh. And they were real nice. And I remember walking up to them one day and they were all stood there complaining about these new warehouses that had been built because you can see them and they're quite an eyesore across this farmer's field. I mean, it's going to be good for the economy, but yeah. I think sometimes you are like, change is good if it's bringing more money and people in, but also they like their quiet Welsh little life.
It's so interesting where an industry bases itself out of, because we're talking about mountain biking. There are no mountains around here. There's a lot of bike companies and there's a
Yeah.
lot of industry,
Yeah.
which is a big part of it. You need people to employ and you need all of the kind of talent. That's why all of the software industry is based out of Silicon Valley. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not the actual valley, is it? It's the.
It's
You know what I
people.
mean? It's
Yeah.
all the
Not
people.
people.
Like geographically, really anything. It's just people. Yeah.
Mm.
But really, when you think about it, it should. Yeah, it should be
I
where
think,
there's mountains.
yeah, because especially there at the minute, if you want to find workers, it's really hard to find workers. But at the same time, you've got loads of mountain bikers that want to move there, but they can't find a job. And at
Yeah,
some
yeah,
point,
yeah,
it's going
yeah,
to
yeah.
start meeting.
Yeah.
So people that love mountain biking in the UK and have it like they're good at software. Let's say they're good at software, but they have to live near London because they work in London for their job.
Yeah.
They might get a software job at the Atherton's bike company
Yeah.
at their new warehouse doing something, and they can live in the mountains where they love being in the UK and have a job there. So hopefully,
What a cool success story. I hope it just keeps on growing and growing and growing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy to think that you might have property, you might have a spot like we've got friends who bought in Queenstown, for instance. Like,
Yeah.
Queenstown's pretty crazy, isn't it, as a place?
Queenstown, yeah, but my only worry with Mac is I don't think it will go, I can say Mac from McCuntneth, I don't think it will go that far, but I've been in Queenstown now like every summer for 12 years, whatever.
Yeah. So
And
what's the
it's-
change you've
it's
seen that
almost-
mountain biking's brought?
It's been really good, mountain biking, but
Yeah.
the change they have, because I feel like mountain biking and the outdoors, they did drive a lot of the industry. People have made enough money now to drive other tourism. And I'm going to see that tourism, from my opinion on what I like, as not positive.
Yeah.
Because a lot of it's casinos, a lot of it's
Yeah.
like they've got on the high street now a Boss, a Tommy Hilfiger, a Burberry, a like $500 socks, you know? And you've got all these tourism. The big tourism at the minute this summer is stag do's. It's the place to be. It's the cool
Is
place to
it?
be. And they're not there for any outdoors or mountain biking. They're there for maybe a nice lake view from their Airbnb, but partying. And it's become a big party town, I think, because it's been so successful as mountain biking and Kiwis outdoors.
Why has that happened, though? Why would that be the next step? Why wouldn't you just lean into mountain biking?
I think
Because
it's way more money in tourism, way more money in drinking, way more money in partying, way more money in casinos.
Yeah.
You know, and it's. I think every change I've seen in Queenstown up to COVID almost has been amazing and positive. And this year, for the first year, I had the Skyline gondola that don't care apparently about mountain biking, and they've got no maintenance. They've given the maintenance to the mountain bike club. So the local mountain bike club have to fund that out of their money. So Skyline sell all the tickets for money and don't pay anything for maintenance. They give it to someone else and they have to pay for the maintenance.
Wow, there you
Which
go.
is because they just make so much money off tourism.
Trouble in paradise, dude.
Yeah,
It's a
and I
difficult thing
hope
to get
and
right.
I
Yeah,
hope, yeah, it
happens.
is. Well, as soon as more money comes in, they just take money.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
bagging out Skyline. They're amazing. They give me a free pass. Thank you. But the town there, I've seen so much positivity and amazing people building tracks. And there's a businessman there called Rod Drury, and he does so much for the community and building these mountain bike tracks. But all of a sudden, I'm seeing like negativity of too many people. Like we talked about this the other day, like too many people and too much riding.
How do you get it right?
Exactly, because Wales right now has got all this building and money coming in, and it's great. But what if it goes too far and suddenly we've got casinos in Mac? You know what I mean? Like, and I hate to say it, just because I like outdoors and things, like why should I have that and people that like casinos not have casinos in mountains? Like, who is the right person? I'm not saying I am, but
No, it's super difficult, isn't it? Because also there's just that kind of like, regardless of whether it's mountain biking, canyoning, if it draws loads of people there, it can be fishing, it could be anything. It's just on a graph, it just looks like upwards.
yeah.
And then if
Yeah.
it's going upwards, you're like, right, let's make it go upwards more. Kind of little segue, but kind of in the bike industry, what's happened is there's been this like upwards graph and people have jumped on board it, like outside investment and like
Yeah.
it's like hard to not do that as a human, maybe. I don't know. Is it like hard just as like...
I mean, as business people, I think
Yeah.
it's hard not to.
It's always
especially like-
capitalism. Is that
yeah,
what it is?
exactly.
Yeah.
It's capitalism, is it? Especially when they're seeing something grow as fast as what biking did through COVID. Like you say, so many investment groups and so many people got involved in biking, didn't they? And not just from like an investment perspective, also people just buying bikes
Yeah.
and
Just loving it,
doing
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
like,
just doing
but then reality kicks in when they're like, actually, no, I can do other stuff now.
Yeah, I'll go back to my job. Or
I'll go
whatever.
back to
It's it's a tough one with all of it. Yeah, like
What's it like for you at the moment with the team and stuff?
tough. We're taking budget cuts.
Yeah.
Honestly, I've
Yeah.
put so many hours working over Christmas that I was like, oh, I'm gonna get to chill loads, and it's been, funny. And we did good as a team, like not in a big headed way. I got 3 World Cup podiums.
Yep.
The team won 3 Enduro World Cups. Between us, we won 3 Crankworks downhills, 2 Crankworks slaloms. You know, like as a team, we got
Killing it.
over 5 million views on YouTube with team videos, which is about 4 million more than any other gravity team in the world. So I think, did pretty well last year. And we're down a lot of money, you know, like in the year. So
Yeah.
it's tough.
How do
man.
you balance it? Like what can you do as a team manager to like keep the wheels turning?
It basically just comes out of my wage. I'm lucky
Right.
enough now that I've done well enough, and I'm very. I realise how lucky I am.
Yeah.
Are you stinking up the place, mate?
Yeah, Lada needs to go outside.
Let's go outside. We'll go for an intermission. I'm lucky enough that I have a good wage now.
Yeah.
That I just make $60,000 less.
Okay,
like if
fair.
I'm in on, I think
Yeah.
we're like down whatever amount, but whatever you're down, you make that less as the team
To keep
owner
it going.
or whatever. Yeah, because everyone else has contracts, right? Eddie gets paid what he gets paid. Jake gets paid what he gets paid. So is Morgan. You can't just be like, oh, hey, we took a budget cut. You're getting a pay cut. So, I mean, maybe you can, I don't know. They're all getting paid the same, but basically it just affects me and I get a pay cut,
Okay.
which
fair.
kind of sucks. But
Well, yeah, it does. But like, mate, you got to keep the wheels turning. I
Yeah,
think
pretty much.
Can't have another team bow
no,
out of
and we're
racing,
lucky.
right?
Like we're lucky how good we are. I mean, I saw that orange thing, like the orange filing for administration thing. I don't want to say it's bankrupt.
Yeah.
Made me really sad. I was such
Yeah,
a fan
so
of
you
this
spoke
brand.
about it.
Yeah.
I was honestly, it made me sad, and I talked to Barney, and it made me genuinely sad. Like Steve Pete, man,
I know.
Steve Pete on orange bikes, the
Dude.
222 and the 223. I got a global racing one, discounted from a shop in Guildford, and that was my dream bike, man. The orange with the swing arm, you know, and I was just like,
Dude.
honestly, like it hit a little
sad
chord
to
today.
think.
It
I
was
know,
sad, like,
yeah.
Yeah.
What a fan of the brand.
I know.
Was it the Missile, the hardtail with the huge tubes?
Yeah,
Yeah, the
yeah,
Missile
yeah.
was the sexiest bike.
Oh
like,
man,
legend bike.
so cool.
Yeah, it's true, man. It's tough to see. It really is hard.
But I
hard
think
to watch. But
however much it sucks, I think a bunch will go probably.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's tough for teams, for everyone. Like so many good riders out there don't have rides.
Do you think it'd be different for you if Pivot was and there probably is one, I'm sorry, an enduro team?
We are the enduro team as well as the downhill team.
Okay.
But yeah, some of our sponsors have been like, hey, we might have to give you a cut because we just don't see any ROI in enduro.
Right. I
Like,
guess
a couple
I
sponsors.
just see it as like a downhill team. I don't know why.
Yeah,
We
we have sponsors calling
Yeah.
us up and saying we might need to cut you because you're downhill and enduro, and we don't see the enduro doing anything for us.
Interesting.
We'd literally have people telling us that. I've had 3 sponsors tell me that.
Yeah.
Like, what's enduro doing?
What do you think?
I think they do a terrible job, the organisers of the enduro, of like, is it promoting it? I want to say promoting or not visualising it, filming it or whatever,
Yeah,
or like
yeah.
putting
Covering it, yeah,
coverage.
yeah, yeah.
The coverage is dreadful. So I would agree. If you're at the race and you're involved, the racing is unbelievable. It's better every year. It's tighter and tighter. The riders are incredible. The racing is amazing. If you're there, you're on the edge of your seat with your team and everyone there, and it's insane. It's
Yeah.
such good racing. It's amazing. If you're at home trying to watch it, it sucks. The website's down half the time on live timing. And it's, I think they need, whether it's to invest more money and they have a runner. I think I mentioned this to you. They have a runner. Like, they film a stage and they have a runner with the SD card and it's going back to an editing studio. And each stage that gets finished, they have this runner going with SD cards or whatever. So 10 minutes after that race is finished and they film the podiums, there is a highlight reel online that someone's been filming all day. And that's just me thinking about that. It doesn't seem that hard to me to do. I know I'm just making that up on the spot, but you have someone running SD cards back all day and a team editing it. You have a good highlights package the minute the race is finished.
You could put them on a drone and just send them straight back.
Mate, send them
I mean,
something. But yeah, it is dreadful at the minute. Like, it's a participation sport at the minute.
So it's a
not good to
difficult
watch.
sport to cover, and it always has been. But what's changed? So previously, it's still a difficult sport to.
I think they had some good filmers before, and now their filmers aren't as good. Like, I know Seeger and everyone did it before, and they had some great guys. I don't know who does it currently. I think the investment into their filmers or coverage or edit, the investment
It's
of who
just a
they use.
lack of investment in
lack
the
of
coverage,
investment, lack of effort,
which is essentially the sport when it comes
which
to
is
it,
the sport. I think it's a lack of care from the
it's
the
tough
organisers. And if you're Warner Brothers Discovery, you are a media company, and if you can't get money out of the media, why would you bother if you're them? Which sucks to say, like, because I love and
So I wonder if it's a conscious decision, whether it's
I
they've
think it
sat
could
at
be.
a table and gone, we got to cut what we're putting in. I don't know anything.
we're a
about
media
any of this,
company.
by the
We
way,
like
but-
X views worth X to us, and this isn't getting this many views, so cut it. I don't know either, but whatever they're doing, I don't think is working, or it looks like a lack from someone that's pretty involved in running a team and putting money. We pay to be there. They don't pay us to be there.
Yeah.
We pay to be there compared to a lot of sports, and I feel like
It's just such a snowball effect now, isn't it? As we're
Oh,
watching,
man.
like, as soon as that happens at the top level of like, we're not going to invest in, the visual aspect of it, and then teams are like, well, obviously, why
and our
we're not going to
sponsors.
invest in being there? So
Well, we
it's
have
just
our-
this snowball effect.
yeah, we have our sponsors telling us, hey, we're seeing no coverage from you guys at Enduro, so we might cut the funding to it.
Yeah.
And you're like, fair enough. If you don't see anything, why would you spend money on it? So
You're
tough to
trying your
argue.
hardest. You're getting results. You're doing all you can.
we're doing really good.
Yeah,
We're getting
it's
more
very
views than
difficult
anyone.
that,
We're winning
yeah.
races, and they're trying to cut budget. But I understand why
Yeah.
it's a tough one.
Mate, I wish we had answers.
Yeah, I wish I did too. Yeah.
And it feels like no one does. at the
No,
moment.
it feels
We're
like
just
no
all
one does.
difficult.
Yeah.
Stood on the sidelines.
Do you
watching
feel
it
like
happen.
enduro's something that your team does, but your team is really a downhill team from your perspective? Because I would imagine you're more invested in the changes in the downhill World Cup.
Not a lot changes in Enduro. I feel like we're a biking team. We just love biking.
Yeah, that's killer. Yeah,
I feel like we're a biking team. Like, we love biking. Like, on our days off, we all go biking together or talk about it. Or like, Morgan obviously came from downhill, but she kills it in Enduro. But I'm sure she'd kill it at downhill. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we started as downhill. We added Enduro with Eddie. That was his main thing to come on board for. His Enduro's blowing up, and he was good at that. And he had his piss take videos of Enduro. His whole thing was the spirit of Enduro. Taking the piss out of it was how he started Enduro.
So
but yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, because then we might stay alive if it's downhill team. But it's both. We do slalom, downhill, whip off, everything. I guess
mountain bike team for sure.
just a mountain bike team.
Right, have you got any news on next year's season? I feel like when every time we have you on, we end up talking about it, and you tend to actually have insight into what is going on, because I haven't heard anything for a little while. It's gone quite cold.
I haven't heard a lot. It's gone quite cold as well. There's probably
Yeah.
some stuff that I can't say that I have heard.
Okay, yeah, well,
But most of it, no, we don't hear a lot. Honestly, it would be nice to hear more. If anyone's watching from the big companies, we would like to hear more. That would be good if someone
You've
told
got
us
a
it.
calendar?
We've got a calendar. We haven't got
Ish?
schedules, I don't think, yet or
Okay.
anything.
There's a
So
rough-
which makes it tough to book accommodation. You're like, do we leave on a Sunday or do we leave on a Monday?
Yeah.
So No, hearing more would be good, especially as the people paying all the money and the main stakeholders in it would be great. Red Bull Hardline Tasmania is happening.
Yeah.
That's happening. That's going to be cool.
So you're heading out soon to go
I go
test
test it
jumps.
on the 22nd. There's me.
Okay.
Well, I think it's Chaos. Tani is coming as well to see how the girls are getting on, I think. Dave McMillan's coming, which is rad. We've got him to help test because he's an
Yes.
unbelievable bike rider and good at testing jumps because he's just good at jumps. And myself, we go on the 22nd of January. I think I'm allowed to say it, so I'm going to double check with Red Bull in a text that this is allowed to go in.
Yeah.
And then hopefully do a cool vlog, would be sick, an LSD of the testing going down again if we're allowed. And then the race is, I want to say, 23rd, 24th of February.
Okay, so out there, test.
I think
back.
test it, make sure it all works, or tweak it if we need to. I think we've got 3 days to ride it.
Yeah.
And test it and make sure it works.
So you're pretty aware of what's on the course.
Actually, I'm not. Apparently, Win did a video there.
Yeah,
that I
Win
haven't
did,
watched.
yeah.
I honestly haven't watched it. One of the builders, Simo, that builds a lot of Dovey with Dan.
Yeah.
So they've like gone back and forth with each other because obviously Dan knows how to build a hard line. He sent me one video of this takey drop in the woods. This like cool, like almost a dirt jump out of it. Big drop, kind of like one in the open, the Wales one, like big drop like that in these trees. Boom, and then it looks like a dirt jump dip, dude, in the
Really?
trees,
Yeah.
out of a turn, off
All
a
like
drop.
red dirt.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like orangey red. Like looks sick.
Nice.
That's about the most I've seen. I probably should be more in touch. Like, but then I don't want to be scared when I turn
Exactly,
up.
yeah,
Like,
I was gonna say,
I said
probably
they've
best
given
being
us
a bit
3
naive.
days to test. I'm like, I want to do it in a day. Like
Really,
I'm
yeah.
gonna try and hit everything in one day. Like otherwise I've got to go to bed and be like, oh no.
I hear you,
Just
dude. It's a
one
horrible
bang.
feeling.
But I'll be really
Oh,
lucky
like-
if I get to hit it all in January.
Yeah.
I get to go home and chill for 3 weeks in New Zealand,
True.
knowing I'm turning up at the end of February. Like, it does give you a psychological advantage. I feel bad for the others, but I will. I mean, Loic Bruni's going, Jackson's going, so there's good riders. But
Stacked field.
Stacked field. That's the first big event.
Do you think they'll do another? Like Tas, Wales.
I don't. Hopefully, I think
It
it's
does
sick
make
events,
sense,
and they
doesn't
get
it?
so many views on them. Especially,
Yeah.
well, we have no idea what the World Cup's got last year because they won't tell us.
Okay.
You could drag brake in your videos. You could drag brake into everything and pedal really hard if you wanted to like throw people
Real
off.
freak off. Like, oh! Well, like, Brendan, I'm not calling him out for this. He always does these lines at, where is it, Peaslake or anywhere. If he does something that I know is not that gnarly, he's like, oh my God! Oh, on Instagram. I'm like, okay. It does really well on Instagram because everyone's like, oh my God, that's gnarly. I'm like, I know that's not that gnarly. But I can hit all the jumps. Like, oh my God!
Yeah.
And everyone's like, what? It must be gnarly. You know exactly what I mean. But,
That's good.
yeah, I should do that maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Might
So-
be a good idea.
Over to Tas, test New Zealand again.
Yeah, go back to New Zealand for 3 weeks,
Yeah.
train, ride in Queenstown, and then,
Hardline.
yeah, back to Hardline, back to New Zealand for 2 weeks in Queenstown, I think, and then we go to Crankworks Rotorua, then
Yep.
back to the UK. So it's actually quite full.
Yeah.
Like, Danny's there at my house at the minute in New Zealand.
Okay.
Like, I was supposed to be there with him. Sorry, Danny. But I'll be back there with him soon, so he's there for all of January, so I get a bit of time with him. But yeah, it's quite busy by the time I go home for 2.5 weeks. Well, home, back to Queenstown. Week in Tasmania, 3 weeks, Tasmania, 2 weeks, Crankworks, home. Like, you're
Okay.
kind of on.
Yeah.
How, if you bench racing, so Danny's not got a deal on the cards, is that accurate? Can we talk about that? Do you know if there's anything happening?
I know what bike he's on at my house.
Okay. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. Or
no,
anything.
no,
I was
no,
just
no.
curious if anyone, because I spoke to him the other day as well and just was asking him a few things.
Not quite a deal on the cards, but almost,
Okay.
I think, hopefully. Depends on a few things, I think. But,
Right.
I mean, he bloody should do it. It's gnarly out there.
Innit?
Yeah.
Like,
isn't
it's
it?
savage, man.
Yeah.
Like, he got, what, 3 top 15s last year, which these days is not easy. A load of flat tyres where I think he would have got a podium or
And
two.
he's Danny Hart.
It's Danny
Mate,
Hart.
it's a huge name, and he would have got podiums. Honestly, I believe without those flats and mechanicals, he would have got some podiums last year.
Yeah.
And then the year before, what did he get? 3 podiums? Like,
Yeah.
he's in the mix, man.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, it's tough
Yeah.
to see him without a deal. on
Man,
the
he
cards,
should be a
obviously.
high 6-figure guy, really.
Yeah.
Like, and he's not.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's gnarly.
Yeah. Do you watch A1?
Yeah, I did. I watched, yesterday morning. Yeah, I did watch
I came
it.
up with an idea before on the other episode we just did.
Yeah.
Do you see the green light for the leader?
Yeah, it's not good, sure.
Do you not like it?
I'd be pissed off if I was the guy riding with it.
Okay, all right. Why? Because it's distracting.
You might, maybe, yeah.
Hmm.
Like, especially at night, like if you ever ride at night, a lot of riders take their lens out. If it's BMX or whip off, you'll take your lens out
Okay.
because lights reflect off it. Obviously, those guys will be more used to it, and I think the stadium lights are so good, it's not going to be as a problem. But I wouldn't be surprised if you get like refraction or something off the green, like it would be like here. But like
Yeah,
a lot of
maybe.
people at Crankworks
Just
whip
on
off in New
Honda
Zealand take
or
their
on a red
lenses
one.
out.
I think you should be
Right.
able to have whatever light you want.
I think
I like
all
that.
of that stuff, like our sport right now, like if we're the riders and we're the dancing monkeys, like you either pay us or you listen to us. But the riders, if they have a union, should all sit down like, hey guys, should we have our own colour light because it distracts us less or whatever? And hopefully they all sit there and discuss that with the promoters, Feld, and they get to decide, because without them, Feld don't have a race series.
Yeah.
And then they could decide if they all united, same as us.
That
But
kind of fell through the union thing, or what? Like, what's
no,
the deal
it's
with
still it's going strong.
strong.
We're finally, hopefully, we're making some headway, guys. Watch
Oh,
the
so-
space.
that? Go back. My idea was, I thought for downhill that could be pretty sick. So there's for each segment, whatever
This is a really good idea.
the light goes green, so people watching can be like, he's up, and then as he come down the course.
What, on your bike?
Yeah.
It'd be
But
so
that would be
hard to do,
outside
but-
assistance. So there's a UCI rule that says we're not allowed outside assistance, and that'd be outside assistance of telling you you're up, whether it helps
'cause
you
you
or
might
not.
see it.
Because Martin Whiteley used to have an umbrella
think of that.
he put up.
Didn't think of that. You'd see
So
it.
he'd come
He'd put
halfway
it
down
up
at a
if you're
split.
up.
He'd put the umbrella up. Like years ago, Martin
Yeah.
Whiteley had this umbrella apparently. I feel like he told me or someone did. So you'd come down, you'd be sprinting along that road at like Maribor, and if the umbrella's up, you're up at the split. If it's down, you're down. I don't know.
that, man.
But
That's so
that's
cool.
outside
Downhill is
assistance,
pitboards.
and you're not allowed outside assistance.
Okay.
Because it's the same
So
thing.
if you did the umbrella thing now, it would go down badly.
I think you'd be disqualified.
How'd you police it?
Yeah, I
you have to have
know.
umbrella spies.
Martin, it's sunny. He's like umbrella up.
I'd have
Makes
someone
no
doing
No,
like,
no, it's gone away. The sun's gone away for this
I'd have
rider.
someone doing like a vape in different colours, like a gender reveal.
I was going to say a gender reveal.
Just green smoke as you enter the motorway.
All right, my idea's flawed,
Yeah.
and I like that you flawed it.
But then the
'Cause of
UCI
course-
Warner Brothers can change a rule overnight now, it appears, for
Yeah.
World Cups or...
It'd be interesting,
Stuff so
wouldn't
they
it,
could
if you
change
had
it.
it so it wouldn't affect your riding?
Here's
the
one.
problem is,
Here's-
if it's on the
go
bar.
on.
Go on, I want to hear.
No, because this is not that. This is like the next thing. To do
Okay,
with
let's hear the
A1.
next thing.
Okay.
I like it. I
You
like
sure you don't want to jump
it.
ahead?
Yeah.
A1.
Because of, I was just thinking of rules and how quickly apparently rules can change now, is Christian Craig's one-piece suit.
Yes.
It was horrendous in my opinion. It's only
Okay,
my
here we
opinion. Some
go.
people like it.
Yeah.
I hate it. You look like a coot. Get it off. But I talked to, should I say his name? A big guy that used to race about this, that was at W at the weekend. No, mate, it's good. It's good. Is it because you're sponsored by them, or is it because your team's going to be running them at World Cups this year? Technically, you can't right now. We have to wear a two-piece suit in the rules.
Okay.
Doesn't matter how tight it is now, obviously. Has to be a two-piece. I wouldn't be surprised if a new rule slips through the cracks and no one notices until it's too late. Whether it's... I'm not saying this team's going to
Do you
push
think
it,
there
but I
is
could
an
just see the
advantage
UCI.
there?
I don't know. Surely
Yeah.
it's going to be quicker. I know
Yeah.
tucking your jerseys in quick, but it has to be. Even if it's 0.1, that can be 3 spots at a World Cup now.
Fuck yeah.
But the guy on this other team that used to race was like, no, I reckon it looks good. I'm like, mate, it looks terrible. But I could see your team running it if somehow the UCI changes their rule. Not that they'll change it because of them, but I could just see.
So we speculated on what we were just recording about it. Like,
Could you see it in World Cups? Is that
Yeah,
what you said?
like who
yeah, well,
would be the
technically
first
now,
guy?
you're not allowed to.
Yeah.
You'd be disqualified.
Okay.
There we go.
But-
Further information.
Yeah.
I could see that rule disappearing overnight and the rider's not getting informed.
I quite liked those moto ones that were like, I think it was Bubba did it.
7 ones.
Yeah, the 7
So it's
ones.
a
that had,
vest
like,
with a
vest
compressed
and
arms.
A compression arm, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's maybe it's a minimum of 2-piece, or is it
That's
just
what I was
2-piece?
thinking. If there's
Because
like a
our
way
Liat
around
one
it.
looks like that. Have
Yeah.
you noticed our new Liat jerseys look like it's a vest with
Really,
with
yeah.
arms? Just because I told them, I was like, "Can we copy 7? It looks sick." And they were like,
Yeah.
"Yeah, we agree. It looks sick. Let's copy it." So it's really cool, and yeah, with tighter arms with a baggier body. And I ride practice in a large, and I race in a medium.
No way.
Yeah, I ride 2 different sizes.
Yeah.
But like a lot of
Why?
time on race
Comfy? Comfier?
speed. No, one looks cool and one's quicker.
Fair.
But like on race day, I'll ride medium in practice as well, just so you're used to the speed, because you will notice, let's say you're going down a ski piste into the woods,
Yeah.
you might be going a K an hour faster into the woods with a tight
It's
jersey.
crazy that is.
So you have to
Thought
practice in a small jersey, because otherwise
so
you're going
cool.
too quick. Or like Fort William for Worlds, I think I wore a medium all practice because I knew I had an extra small GB jersey for the race. I was like, I'm going to be going off that first boardwalk into the rocks. You are noticeably going quicker in a tight jersey.
You must be really, really in tune with.
Dude, I
speed
put a hoodie on
difference.
and it's like night and day for me.
Yeah.
Like I could have my eyes shut and tell you if I had a hoodie on or not. Do you know what I mean? Like,
So interesting.
It's
I've
weird.
never even thought of that.
So it's
I
a
would
massive
feel
nope
not.
on the One Piece at the moment from BK.
Hard no, and you'd get disqualified for it.
I mean, I think would it have been a different story if like Jet wore it and just like fucked
Nah,
off?
man.
And everyone would be like,
do you not see Anderson even walk out with his jersey still half untucked?
Yeah.
I'm a huge Anderson fan because he's
Yeah.
steezy. Like, that guy's a gangster. He's a bad man. I reckon he's cool.
He was my example as to why I didn't want
Yeah,
to.
he was.
Yeah, there you
Funnily
go.
enough,
See,
he's my
Anderson's
example
the
as to
on the
man.
same page.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think it looked good at all.
And how he got into it. And
Yeah,
just,
the whole
nah,
like
man.
over the back like wetsuit.
I didn't
vibe.
actually see
Apparently-
where it did up. I didn't
It's
see
like
that.
across the back, like top of your shoulder blades. Is how he gets in. Like there.
okay.
But apparently his main thing was it's so comfy.
There you go.
Onesie,
like a
innit?
onesie.
A nappy's probably comfy, but you're not going to wear it, are you? Like,
Yeah.
So let's see. That'd be interesting to see who rolls one of those out first, man. It will be super interesting to see.
Yeah.
I mean, did you
Those is-
ever race when it was skin suits?
No, I didn't get picked that year. British cycling. I'm going to bag them out here. Took 4 guys to Val d'Isole, even though they're allowed to take 7.
I mean,
And they're like,
yeah.
no, we don't think you'll do good. Yeah, but what about next year when I've had 1 year experience for Australia? No, we're taking 4, not 7. I'll pay. Nope.
Oh,
So they wouldn't
really?
take me.
Brendan used to have to race in a
Yeah,
skin
I
suit.
know. He looked pretty.
It's an insane look because
I remember Josh Bryson stood at Val d'Isole with like the knee shin pads in the tight thing.
yeah,
Like,
because it
looked
just
so
makes you look
bad.
like you've got like swollen joints, like you're starving, doesn't it?
Makes
It
you
just
look
makes
so
such a
weird.
bad. It's such a bad look. To be honest.
Dreadful
Like,
look.
I know we got tight like stuff now, but I still think it looks good.
Looks
Even
all
the
right. I think
tightest.
Yeah.
race days, like I don't even notice I'm doing it. The second I finish a race run, especially if I've done good, first thing I'm doing on the live feed is untucking my jersey because I think it looks cute. But I don't even notice that I do it. It's just automatic. So I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, this looks so goofy, man. Or like you can see your piece, you know? So you're like, you're like, wow.
Trying to hide it.
Davey, on this ad break today, we've got a guest who he's done some previous episodes, right?
He's done a few of our episodes. Yeah.
A lot, actually.
Yeah, he's done.
Always a great guest.
Mate, always shows up on time.
Yeah.
He's also, I thought maybe he would have some sort of like ego around him because he's been on loads of other podcasts. He's
Yeah.
been on Joe Rogan,
That's true.
Andrew Huberman, good friends with Andrew
True,
Huberman.
yeah.
He's been all of the major podcasts.
Been on loads and YouTubers as well.
Yeah, loads of YouTubers.
Loads.
He gets around a little bit, this
Yeah,
guest.
he does.
And he's a funny colour.
Absolutely, yeah.
Colour of health, some might say.
The colour of health, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Completely always shows up optimised, dude.
Yeah, always shows up optimised.
Mm.
Usually in the morning,
Yeah.
I'll hear
Morning
from him.
person, it's fair to say, isn't that
Yeah.
right? It's fair to say.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Even has a voice.
This is the weirdest ad break ever. Can we actually finally get to introducing our guest on today's ad break?
Yeah, but we need a round of applause and a hit of the like and the share button from our
Okay.
audience because it's a big guest.
It is a big guest.
Ready?
All right, okay, I'm doing a round of applause.
AG1!
Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right.
As
Brilliant.
always on time, always optimized, always a benefit to the podcast. Our good friend, AG1.
AG1.
All right.
Absolutely. Bringing along 75 of...
Vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients inside him. Just brings them with him.
Absolutely. There's a month's worth in this tin. Isn't that right?
Yeah, there's a month's worth in that tin. Some say he's compact.
I don't know when to switch in between him being an actual guest and when...
I think keep going with it.
Yeah, all right,
Keep
cool.
going with it.
I tell you what I like about him.
Yeah.
I take him in the morning and I feel optimized for that day. And quite frankly, I feel as though I have hit all of my goals
Yeah.
nutritionally for that day.
Yeah. He's like your partner.
He is.
And he doesn't have to be a he can be
A she, a
75 different things.
75 different things.
75 different pronouns.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right. If you want to have your own in-studio partner, all right, who's going to help you in life, he's going to be like
it.
your accountant, he's going to be like your cleaner,
Yeah,
because he's going to
I
make
like
you
it,
more
yeah.
optimized. He's going to
He
make you
is.
do more stuff
He is,
and
yeah.
be a better human.
Absolutely.
Then all you have to do
Yeah.
is head to drinkag1.com/the ride companion.
Is that drinkag1.com/the ride companion?
That's correct. And right there, you'll get yourself, because he has kids, 5 of them.
He does. And they're in
Little-
small sachets. You can take them abroad. That's what I do.
Yeah.
So that I can stay optimized. I can have my guest in the room, AG1, when I'm abroad.
You know what he also does?
Go on.
Carries sunlight around
He does.
in a little bottle of vitamin D3. All right. So if you want your own guest,
Years worth.
years worth of sunlight,
Head to drinkag1.com/the ride companion.
so we can keep doing these ad reads because they're gonna get weirder throughout the year.
Yeah, I know, right? That was up there, though.
He'll
I
be dressed
enjoyed
up
it.
next week. Have hair.
Thanks, AG1.
Thanks, AG1.
Probably helps your hair.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Bet Joe
helps your
Rogan's going to use this read.
hair. Deeks should have just got AG1.
Is there any team changes with Pivot?
Nah, team's the same.
Team same?
Nah, team's the same. Jake Jewett, he just signed off 2 more years. He did, I think, really good in his first year.
Yeah.
He got 12th at Snowshoe, which was amazing for like a second year elite. New team, new bike to set up, like really, really good. He and Rad Morgan. Everyone else is signed through till the end of 25. So,
Okay.
no, it's looking pretty good, really.
With
Which
the
is-
state of
which
the
is
bike
pretty
industry, have contracts got shorter? With maybe brands not
changed.
wanting to lean in for so long? I don't know if that's
Well, no,
a
'cause
thing.
most of ours were signed last year for 3 years at the
Okay.
beginning of 23.
Right. Okay.
So most of it's that. We gave Jake the option,
Yeah.
1 or 2 more.
Okay.
I'm trying to think if anything else is really changing. Or any
It's
other
good
big
to hear it's
changes.
not. It's
Yeah.
good to hear
No,
it's
like
not.
we're pretty solid, which is good. I know, like,
Yeah.
we have to be smart and we can't just do what we want, obviously. And money's definitely tighter, obviously.
Yeah.
Like our budget's been cut, which is pretty heavy. But then at least we've got, well, it sucks that there's only enduros in Europe. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
dreadful.
Yeah.
But it saves a bit of budget there. And
How do you budget a race, dude? I would not have a clue where to start. If I had to do a full season of anything, like the idea, do you have a spreadsheet? This is a stupid question.
I don't
but
even know if I want to admit this.
No, let's hear
to
it.
the
Let's hear
world.
it. Go on. I don't know the answer.
I don't really do one. Or I don't need to.
Nice.
The only
How?
thing that that we have enough money to do it, right? Anything after that, if I make $5, I get $5.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter. And I know I'm going to make enough money to live.
And even
So
if
I
you
don't have to
spend
do a budget.
$5,
Let's say
you'd still be
we
happy.
count all of the food last year. And we're like, right, we spent $26,500 on food. Now what? What have you learnt? You spent $26,500. What do you do with that? Or should we try and spend less next year or what? Like, you have to eat what you eat. Like,
Yeah,
what does
yeah,
it
I
matter
see
if I
what-
count all the food or if I try and budget the food for 24? What does it actually, as long as you know you've got enough money to cover the year,
Yeah.
what does it matter? Like, I literally couldn't tell you. Okay, the accountant 2 years ago at the end of beginning of 23, the accountant's like, I think we spent £2,800 at McDonald's in 2022. The team did in like a 3-month period in the middle of Europe. I think we
Good
spent,
year. It's a celebration.
Yeah, exactly.
we spent £2,800 at McDonald's in
That's
3
the
months.
cost of
There's milk
victory,
shake.
dude.
Well,
Those
like
milkshakes
Sunday in
don't come
Europe,
cheap.
Sunday in Europe, a lot of things aren't open, and we spend a lot of time driving on Sundays in Europe, 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And where are we going to eat?
Yeah.
Europe food on the
Gotta
motorway
eat.
sucks for one.
Yeah.
McDonald's isn't great, but it's your best option 98% of the time. But honestly, the budget, okay, I know what our total dollar figure we get is.
Yeah.
But other than that, I couldn't tell you how much we spent on flight. Well, I kind of do because like Pivot might ask, hey, can you show us this? But otherwise, I don't know, and it doesn't matter.
My
As
reason
long
to
as there's
ask
enough money.
is that like 2 people going to a Crankworks event, 2 people extra. It's a really big cost. Like to run any race team and to do any event is like, I don't think people. I never really think about how many people you have to bring around with you.
No, it's insane.
It's
Yeah,
a lot, isn't it?
I'll work out like, yeah, that's too much for. Like if someone's like, hey, can we go to that Crankworks and 2 extra hours? And I go, I'll just quickly do the math. I'm like, that's too much or whatever. But our team's so unique because I own the team. All it makes a difference on is my wage. So either I make, let's say, $50 at the end of the year, or I make $5. As long as there's enough money for everyone to get paid their wage and everyone go around, it actually doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I just make more or less money.
Okay, so that's that's when you're talking about. Okay, so what gives you actual freedom is the fact that you are a rider and that you have a wage.
Yeah, but I couldn't. Well, I honestly don't know how much money I make.
But the team manager wage is
Well, I don't
You
have
know
a
what I
wage
mean?
for either.
yeah.
I just get whatever's left.
Okay, but that's insane. that's the reason
Am I
why
bad
it
at
works.
admitting this?
No,
it's
I don't think
interesting.
you are. It's really good. I think
is
it's really
interesting.
good.
Like, because I love the team, and I do it for a passion as well as a job.
Mate, that's what I think is really good about it, actually.
Yeah, like it doesn't actually
Yeah.
matter. Like if I have $800,000 left at the end of the year or $5, as long as I've afforded it, actually doesn't matter. Yeah, it would be nice to have 800,000 left. I don't, just to put that out there. We aren't Santa Cruz or GT or anyone else that has these huge budgets, but it actually doesn't. Okay, it would be nice, but it really doesn't matter. Like I have, unless we were going under every year, which is the first couple of years of the team, you are going into negative. It actually, it doesn't. I don't need to work it out. Like I just make less money or more money.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, it's
unique
pretty cool,
position
that.
because someone who's not like you were saying, not the rider, not the owner, would have to report.
Yeah,
back
if you're the team
consistently.
manager, you would have to
be like,
report.
right, we're
to
spending this, we're spending that. We've spent how much in McDonald's?
and they're like,
we're
okay,
really
mate,
sorry,
next
we'll
month you've
reduce
got to
it.
cut the McDonald's.
Yeah, the McDonald's. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to cut that
medium
back,
meals,
and a rider gets
not
their
large.
wage and their contract's 50 grand a year or whatever.
Exactly.
Whereas
But
I
it's
have,
you've negotiated it totally different. So
Yeah.
you own the package and whatever's
I
left.
tell Pivot they've got to give me $10.
Yeah.
Fox Suspension have to give me $3. For instance, someone gives me $1.
Okay.
I make sure there's enough money in the pot to pay everyone and go around and pay for a season,
Yeah.
which I kind of just know.
I
So
think
without
it's really
Pivot,
cool to
is
hear that.
BK Racing still a thing?
Technically,
'Cause
I own
you
the
have
team.
the
Yeah, they're
model.
the title sponsor. Yeah, they are the
Yeah.
title sponsor of the team. But hopefully, we never go away from Pivot. I love them and Chris and Cindy and everyone at the
Yeah,
company
yeah.
that's made it happen. But yeah, technically, like I own the bus and the vans and everything.
Right.
Yeah,
Interesting.
but it is a random model. I remember our team manager, the guy helping us last year, Steph, was like, "Yeah, but like, do you want me to add it all up?" I was like, "It doesn't really matter. Like, you can if you want."
It's
But
pretty unique though, because it's sort of like three roles. Like you'd normally have a manager who doesn't own the team, and
Yeah.
then you'd have an owner, and then you'd have a rider. So
riders,
you're
yeah.
doing kind of three jobs, which is quite good.
it's a lot sometimes.
It's quite hard, isn't it? I can't imagine doing it.
Yes.
No.
Funny. You have a lot of help, obviously. Like we have an accountant and
No
other
doubt,
things.
yeah, but still, good on you.
Yeah, it's really weird. I know people always get confused by this bit when they ask, like, the people that like either work for us or something. And it's bad though, because sometimes people can take the piss. They're like, "Oh, I know, we can just go out for another dinner." I'm like, "No, I will." Like, I'll periodically
Yeah,
check.
you've got to be
check-
some sort of,
I'll
like,
check through like
accountability.
the bank statements or whatever, especially if you've got like Wise Bank, and you could be like, "Okay, why was there 3 McDonald's today? Let's not take the piss here," you know, like,
Yeah.
or like you'll see like each of them have got a Big Mac, nuggets, fries, a sundae, and a drink. You're like, just get your Big Mac meal and a drink. Like, I'm not here to, you know what I mean? Like, they're all like,
Just limiting the
mechanics, you're
McDonald's.
bad for this. They'll try and get a Big Mac meal and put 9 nuggets on the side. And you're like, you need 9 nuggets as well.
I love how the whole team just comes down to nuggets.
The Macca's
Mac
problem.
Like the guy going down the track at crazy speeds, all of it.
No.
All comes down to the
Oh, it
nuggets.
comes down to
at
the
end.
bloody Macca's, I tell you. The accountant called us out for it. It was almost 3 grand.
Hopefully
That is
McDonald's
so
are watching
good.
or listening and
Yeah,
hooking the
hook us
boys
up.
up with a gold card.
Yeah.
Someone will have got one.
I think I know the answer to this question that I'm about to ask you, but I'm
Butter.
going to ask you anyway. Can you ever imagine not doing all that and just focusing on racing? And what do you think it would? How do you think it even would affect your results?
Maybe I've got pretty good, and we've had more and more help with my brother doing a lot of the stuff and driving the bus. Like, last 2 years, I haven't driven the bus.
Yeah.
I think that's helped a lot, 'cause I drove it back at the end of the year because my brother had to come home early. So I drove it back right then. I was like, Jesus Christ. I drove it back from Chatel to Europe overnight the next day and like one hit. And I was like, that was a lot, man. And I think that's really helped. The 2 years I haven't done it, I've got 5th in the overall and then 6th in the overall, which is maybe part of it, and let people do other bits. So I think that's where you've seen I had a new trainer, but also the improvement there. But otherwise, no, I have to be busy. I don't know what half of them do half the time. I don't know. But then again, now I've got a dog. It's sick hanging with that guy and riding motorbikes and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what
Would
I
I do
thought you were
better?
going to answer.
I don't know.
Are you doing anything different for this off season?
We have a bike way more dialed in. Like, I always thought, like, your bike's just good out the gate. And I learned a lot last year with this new bike.
Yeah.
That you can actually make it way better. So that's sick.
Okay.
Trying to be really good at training. So no, not too much different other than that our bike is a year more
More
progressed than
developed.
than it was at the beginning of last year when I thought it was dialed. And then at the end I was like, oh my God, why haven't we done this or changed this? Or I get scared of change.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, bike's good, done, don't change it.
Yeah.
Oh, what if you do change it and it actually gets way better again? You're like, wow, this is sick.
Has it been good living in Dovey? for that.
Oh my God,
Like, can we
unbelievable. Yeah.
just laps
We
and
can
laps
just go
and laps.
out and out and out. Yeah, it's been, I think in the last 2 winters, I put so much time into driving to Wales like once a week.
Yeah.
And now being there, obviously, you don't waste the time driving
Yeah.
there the whole time.
Yeah.
It's been so good for that. And like Rach, when she moved there, she won 16 races straight after the first winter moving there. That was after she started her winning after she moved there for the first time.
Wow.
And I think it's seen
Yeah.
so much help for me in the last 2 winters going there loads before I moved there.
So what? So talk. I'm really interested in that actually, like improving a bike setup for racing. Like how do you do it, and what things are improved?
One of our main things, we have a flip chip in the middle to go higher or lower BB. And I came and I'm washing the front. Why am I washing? I'm like, it's just my fault. The track's loose. I just have always blamed myself. And then Eddie and Matt overheard. They're like, oh, we were finding that a little bit on the Firebird, and we went to the high setting rather than low, and we all found we had way more front wheel grip. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. And I've always been scared to change anything. Tried it instantly. It was like, oh, that's so good.
Wow. Yeah.
Like,
that's cool.
like I crashed at Ludenville on a really good run, washed the front in a turn. Next week, all week at Leger, I was struggling. I was like, why am I struggling? Like, I was good in time practice, I think, and as soon as we were pushing more and getting faster, I was like, I'm washing the front everywhere. I was like, I guess the track is bone dry and dusty. It must be me. Changed that. I was like, oh my God. But we changed it on race day.
Okay.
We changed it after qualifying. I was like, I'm literally feel like I'm on the limit here. Like, how am I? Where did I qualify? 7th, 10th? I don't know. Not where I wanted to qualify at least. I was like, why am I feel like I'm on the world's winning run coming 10th or wherever it was? Changed that the next day. I felt like I was cruising and I got 12th. And I was like, shit, I wish I'd done it at the start of the week and you could have learned the track better.
So what you're saying is a fast bike doesn't necessarily feel like a fast bike.
No, exactly. Yeah, it's so weird to work out and just trust change.
So it requires numbers, basically. Is that what you would say?
I'd say it requires like trust in change. Well, I don't know numbers.
But like, in order for you to know that something's faster, like
You have to
see what
do
I mean?
runs like timing.
Yeah, okay. So you're timing on GoPro, or what are you doing?
I
when
would time
you're
on
testing at the
GoPro
minute?
normally, but then that was just at World Cup, so
Yeah,
every
yeah.
run's timed pretty much. You could just see. Or the next day, I knew I didn't put a heater of a run down and got 12th.
Yeah.
Whereas the day before, I probably, let's say, got 12th in qualifying. I was on the edge of my limit.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and the next day I was like, I wish I'd like learned.
Is there anyone around you that's watching and can like see it?
We had a guy, Steph, working for us last year, and I sent him up.
Yeah.
And I was like, mate, I really need you on track. Can you just film these next 3 runs here, here, and here?
Yeah.
Am I going good? What am I doing wrong? I want you to tell me if I look shit as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because like Santa Cruz have like 5 people up there. It's insane now how much of a team sport it is. It's not. And we had someone say, I was like, right, I really need to know what I'm doing good or bad on these sections because I feel like I'm struggling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you like know I'm riding good, the week before in Ludenville, I think I got 13th maybe when I crashed, and I was 4 seconds off the win and 1.5 seconds off the podium when I was lying on the floor. I was like, my speed's there right now. I'm going quick, but why am I struggling this week? So I knew something was up. I was like, this is weird.
You can't
Yeah.
just put anyone up there either, can you?
No, you got to
No,
have like
you
a
gotta
good
know it.
rider or someone that knows. Like Emily's really good because she was up there. Well, she went home. That's why she wasn't at that one because Cammy got hurt. But yeah, you have to have people that kind of know as well or can ride a bike quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really interesting here. It's more of a team sport.
It's
And
a
yeah,
full team sport now. Downhill is, especially with anyone, like the Santa Cruz team ride with their phones in their pocket the whole time because they're in the lift and they get updates the whole time. If you go up with Laurie or Jackson, they are getting update. I think that this is why the sport's changing. It's so tight. 10 years ago, Sam Hill had a secret line and no one would see it.
Yeah.
Now everyone sees every single line 3 seconds after you've done it. Like if it's slightly better, everyone's on it. So we're all on one good line down the track now. You're scooting, mate. Probably does need the toilet, doesn't he?
I think he does need the toilet.
But yeah, like now everyone knows your line. If it's a good line or it's a potential line. Or at Snowshoe, I was going real quick on quali day or first day. And I've never done this before, but a lot of riders, whether it's Troy, Andy Cobb, Charlie Hatt, they've all admitted now they watch my vlogs or the LSDs every night. Like loads of them watch them every night, especially if I'm going good that week.
Okay.
So like I was going down and we had like, I normally just leave all my helmet cam in, dude. Like I'd spend 5-10 minutes editing, leave it all in, chuck it up.
Editing, going
We
on.
like cut it and put Matt Walker's in because he's like quick,
Yeah.
but wasn't going like, I was going stupid quick the first day there this year. I put 2 seconds into everyone in a 25-second sector. Like the next rider was 2 seconds behind me. So we cut all my GoPro out and we put Matt's in. But we like didn't even try to do it good. Like at one point I'm stood on the side of the track while he's going past, and we'd like switch the helmet cams. We'd like cut him in, and it was like such an average cutting because he'd even pulled over, so you could see the speed was way slower. And then I'm stood at the next rock section on the side if you're really paying attention. And a few like Andy Cobb's like, "Fuck you! I saw you at the side of the helmet cam," and we were like. We like thought about it as I'm editing the video, and we're just cracking up. Like me, Eddie, and Matt think we're so funny, like putting Matt's helmet cam in instead of mine, which is pretty funny. So we've done a few funny things like that.
Yeah, man. All right, Lada needs a toilet, so let's wrap up.
Man.
Yeah,
It stinks in here.
Stinks in here.
We need to get him out, don't we, little man? He's
What
had a good day,
if you could sum it up? Like, what would make 2024 the year of BK? We're finally getting that fucking tiger.
Yeah,
we're getting a tiger. We're getting a tiger,
We
man.
need that tiger. So
We're gonna go all in. Yeah, we're gonna go all in with the training now. I'm like a little bit behind just because I've had, I enjoyed the off season a little bit this year. I'm behind for Hardline maybe, but not for the season. We got so long.
Yeah.
But train hard. Just be really like good willpower. No drinking beers in the week. Just really go in like. I think I broke my finger. Like it was real bruised the other day. I don't bruise ever. I think I cracked it like. When I crashed at Hardline, that huge crash 2 years ago, I cracked my finger across there, this one. And this feels exactly the same from single skiing the other day in New Zealand from doing...
You know, don't you?
Yeah, but I'm like, I can't really go and get an x-ray because I'm not going to take 8 weeks off.
Okay.
Like this is hopefully
Grin and bear it.
the last year, plus one. You can't be the last one.
No.
Of probably World Cup racing. So I've hurt my knee, and I'm like, it just doesn't matter whether if I've got no ACL in there or whatever is wrong with this knee right now. It's literally pointless me going, I'm going to do physio, I'm going to work at the gym.
I think they call it the Travis Pastrana approach now. Did
Man.
you see him do that flip
Yeah,
nose
like,
bomb
yeah,
thing?
it's
And he was
insane.
like, look, I'm already broken, so who
Yeah.
cares? I'm just going at it.
And this year...
Tommy G at Rampage as well.
Yeah, and I'm going to look after myself loads.
Yeah,
But
good.
honestly, it's just train as hard as I can, go in and... Yeah, try and get a tiger, man. I've got to win a race. I've been too close. Like, come on.
Yeah.
I need a bit of luck on my side. Like
You
the
got
Val
it.
d'Isole one, I almost, if it just rained for another 10 minutes of Val d'Isole, I had it.
Yeah.
I know it was an unfair
I
one.
thought Tiger was coming. I thought the
thought-
delivery truck was pulling up.
Man, I sat on that hot seat for an hour at Val d'Isole, and I was like, I was so nervous, and I didn't want to look at the watch because I knew what time it was, and I was like, it's still raining. I was like, is it an hour left of riders? Is it 40 minutes? Like, I didn't know, and I didn't want to know. And I was like, this might be it today.
Yeah.
But I want that feeling. I thought so much that if you win, like, I know it's just a World Cup and like I'm not basing my happiness on it, but like achieving that goal.
Man,
I know the day after,
great.
like, your life's exactly the same. But like, I really would be cool.
You could pull a stop oil. Next time you're in a hot seat, I reckon you should do like one of the... You could glue yourself to the finish line and just like... Then just wait till it
Race
gets
is
dark.
done, hey. Race is done. Could do something.
Stop.
I don't know,
You
dude,
never know.
I've won a Crankworks downhill now. I've run Red Bull Hardline.
coming.
I've run Slot. I've
Yeah.
won pretty much everything I've raced, bar a World Cup. I did technically win one in junior, but I'm not counting it because we didn't really win them then. But yeah, 2024 is the year of that. And
Yeah, man.
the other one thing I would love, what I've always tried since having a team, is to win a World Cup with a team. Like if you get team of the day.
cool.
Okay.
Look at this little pest. Yeah, team of the day.
He's ending on the table.
Yeah, he's
in
ending on
true
the table.
Lada style.
He loves the table, eh?
Loves
Table
the table.
dog.
He's like... So
Lada would
sorry,
like that,
it's
yeah.
a winner team...
A team World Cup. We'll take him up on the podium as well. You can come up, mate. But yeah,
Really?
team of the
You
day,
go up?
Yeah.
Like, that would be awesome if the team could all do. We were close in snowshoe. If Jenna had got it, she was 11th by 0.1. But if she had made it into the final, because, they have this stupid semi-final thing at the minute.
Is that done?
Don't know.
Okay. Interesting.
Be nice if it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if she had got in, we might have won that day.
Okay.
Because I got 5th, Jake got 12th, and we just needed her to be like 8th or something.
Lada
Yeah.
won. He wins every race. Look at him, the king.
The king. Hey. But that'll be the year. We'll do another
Hyped
podcast.
for you, rooting
Yeah.
for you.
Thanks for
all
having me on.
are.
I feel like I just talk all the time. But
No, you're good at
That's
it,
what your
dude.
job
You're
is
good
when
at
you're
it.
here. No one wants to hear from us.
No, exactly.
whatever.
Anything
Appreciate
to
you.
plug?
BK Sport. I don't know when we're going live next. Maybe end of February, maybe. Mac 10 cycles. Check them out if you ever go to Dovey. We're going to have Lada's own line in there or some kind of BK Sport, like I said, that you can only buy in there. So
You've got an email list to sign up for your next thing, haven't you?
bksport.co.uk. Check that out.
10% off with code Ride Companion.
You've been dreaming. I don't know how you put one of those in there. Of course it is.
Big ups. Thanks
Yeah,
for
big
listening.
ups.
Peace and love.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you very much.
God bless.
Cheers, crew.
What an episode. You did really well then.
Oh, thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Do you know what would finish it off?
What?
If you could put some sort of link over my face.
Yeah, I can do that. I could put
Is
a
that
video up on Ollie's face of an episode we think you'll love.
Is it on now?
There is a subscribe button here on this chair, and on my face, another video we think you'll love. Thank you. We appreciate you.
There's nothing in the chair now. Subscribe.